Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve. This is Everyday Artist, and welcome. This is Rogue, and this tail back here belongs to Hank. And hopefully they will not knock down the tripod. Maybe they'll get off of me. Sorry, I'm afraid they're going to knock down the tripod. So I'm going to put a picture of them together so that you can actually see, what is this? I don't know. So that you can actually see Hank, or kind of see Hank. Anyway, hopefully I can get them to stop doing that. I am here today to talk about my crochet and my cross stitch and a little bit of haul. Stop. Shh. Shh. Come on up here. Come on. Come here. Come on. Come on. Be quiet. Lie down. This giant paw is on me. Anyway, I might have to start again. Anyway, I'm going to try. So it is almost mid-May. Last week was Spring Mingle, and I got my order in from Lindy Stitches. I'm still waiting for an order apparently from France, which once it hits the US, which it shipped from France almost immediately. And then it got here to the US on very short order and has been taking a drive around the US. But the last I heard or saw on the tracking thing, it's in the Phoenix area. So I might get it soon. So maybe next week you can see this fabric I've been waiting for. So the first thing I want to show you is, and I apologize for the noise in the background, Rogue is playing with something. My sock. I'm starting to turn the heel, and it's, the proper length for my sock, and here we are. The pattern, the turning of the heel is probably the most difficult part to understand, and it is Perfect Fit Crochet Sock by Olga Poltava. I'm probably saying her name wrong. I think that she gives you as many tools as she can to help you understand how to do the pattern. And I'm going to adjust this one more time. I apologize. It's driving me nuts that it's not centered. I'm enjoying working on it. It's just, I'm not used to working with this width of yarn, and I find it tedious isn't the right word, but more difficult than working with a thicker weight. I don't do crochet with the thread for a reason. I've always found that to be less enjoyable. So, now, I had serious startitis this week. Now, I think I tried to show last week, and I might have started this last week. I couldn't, I watched my video to try to see what I had started, and I can't remember. But I did start Stitchy Pro's Spring Mingle. This was a free pattern. I love the fact that the bird is stitching lavender. It's called the Lavender Grower, and he's stitching it. Isn't that hilarious? Anyway, I haven't gotten very far on it because I keep telling myself you really need to work on other things. But I got a little bit further on it than I was last week if I showed it to you last week. It's not a very big pattern. Probably to here. Maybe a little further. Anyway, It's not a very big pattern at all. And I'll work on it every now and then when everything else is not something I want to work on. And then we have Luna, excuse me, which I also started. And this is by Chelsea Haynes of Annie B's Folk Art. This is part of the Cross Stitch the Rainbow with Threadworks. And this is also, they're all the same size, the Threadworks patterns for this year. This is my start on that. And I may have showed you this last week too. I'm not sure. I have no idea. I started watching my video to try to decide, and I said, you know what? I've done some work on them, so I'll go ahead and show you. I know I had to restitch this, but I did it correctly this time. It's hard for me to remember sometimes. Did I show on this video, or did I show it on the Three Sisters video? They're very close together, but far enough apart that I go, when did I show people that? What was I talking about? I had to run off because my row was eating the other dog's food, and she's not supposed to. It's different food. So when I talk about something in one video, I can't remember if I talked about it in the other video or both. So there's that. Now, trying to do my whips first before I talk about anything else. And I stack things in a strange order. I've worked some on, there's a hare in my garden. And I had to frog the leaves because they weren't supposed to be solid, but I got them back in and some of another one. I haven't even started on this side yet, so I'm almost ready to do bunnies. But I got tired of it. Too much counting. This whole week I've been like, nah, I don't want to work on that. I'll go work on this. I shouldn't be working on this. I should go back and work on that. And so as a result, you get little spurts of work on a very short amount of many things. Okay, you're moving the whole couch. Okay. I did do some work on the one I'm supposed to be concentrating on. I have too many projects to actually be concentrating on this. This is the Chronicles of Narnia by Stitching Book Club. The last one is by Hands-On Design. I apologize if I forget to say who something is by. Right now, I'm just struggling to remember my name. It's been, yeah. Let's see. I'm sorry about the thread being in front, but I did work on this. I got, from last week, I think I got all the stitching in, but I got the yellow on each side. Oh, sorry. The yellow on each side, and I'm working on getting this purple all the way across, and I got the first layer of blue. Now on this, oh, are you okay? Oh, get off my sock. She thought she was going to be able to jump behind me and sit on the pillow, and she collapsed. Okay, so it's hard enough to do things with one dog. With two, come back up here. Come on, Hank. Come on. No? Okay. So there's 2 layers of blue in here, in these. What are those? Chevrons? So I'm making some progress, not as much as I should be making, but part of that is finding the threads and just the desire to work on it. And it's not that I don't enjoy working on it, it's that I sit down to work on it and go, oh, but I'd rather start. Yeah, so, and then there's getting stuff ready, trying to make sure I have everything ready for later, like threads for starting the shepherd. Everything just starts adding up on me. And I taught the final class for this session on Friday, and I have to get everything ready to turn in all my stuff. There's Hank. There's Hank. Hi, Hank. Say hi. Say hi. You don't want to? You don't like being on TV? No? Okay. Okay, so I did more work on Moonlit Moth. This pattern is deceptively, it's deceptive. It looks easy. I mean, it's a small pattern, 4 threads, you know, it looks like it's not going to be a big deal. But because if it were like this, that would be one thing. But since it's this way, you have to be really careful that you're really counting everything out. And you know how me and counting go. So, but here's my progress. I got the blue up to here, and so I'm going to have to carry the blue down here. Of course, green, and then the tip is blue here. There's little spots of blue here. Let's see, like this. So after that, all of this back stitching, well, I have this light tan color goes in, just regular. But all of this filigree is back stitching. And I can't wait to do that. I'm thinking I might do this with just the sparkle thread, but I don't know. You really can see the sparkle. You can see the sparkle in the thread like this. So I may do it with the blue and 2 sparkle threads instead of just one. I use Accentuate because it's really thin and easy to use. And I really like that product. And she told me who it was by, and I don't remember. I was at the attic this past weekend. Okay. I did some more work on my temperature chart, under the sea temperature chart by, I did it again. This, excuse me, this is Counting Puddles. Just love it. Love it. Okay. Under the Sea temperature chart, designed by myself for Three Sisters Creative. And I think I forgot something. Well, I'll figure it out. So, I was all ready, had everything in the right order, and then my son says, no, wait, do this instead. So I had to wait. This is where we are. This is 103. These are 73. Within a week. Yeah. Very strange, huh? It's been over 100 or over. Today makes 4 days in a row, which means I got into the pool yesterday. Not to swim. I had something I had to do in the water, but I was able to get in. And I hadn't been able to. I was like reaching over and trying to put my hand in and it's to grab the vacuum. It wasn't where it belonged. So say? So I had been working for a while on a Father's Day pattern, and I had wanted to stitch the whole thing before I showed it to you. I got this far. It's an emperor penguin, and there's going to be a baby penguin here. This is the pattern. A father's love, and it says a father's love protects from life's storms. I also included in the pattern the father's love, for those of you that would rather have that, and it is available now on our Etsy. I was wanting to do it, put it up with the model stitched, and I know it needs ironing, but I'm stitching it on mint splash with the dot. I know it says mint, but it looks blue to me, so I'm enjoying stitching it, but I started this before market, and then I just got distracted by market stuff. And so I am working on it more than I had been, but you know, it's 32 count, so I have to do it in the mornings. And I haven't had as many mornings as I would like, so there's that. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and go to Three Sisters Creative on Etsy, and it'll be there. And I personally really like the pattern. I think that, and I wanted to have it out by Mother's Day, so I put it out the day before Mother's Day. Not because mothers aren't important, they are, but I think many times fathers get less attention about how important they are in a child's life. And they don't just protect physically, although the emperor penguin is protecting physically, but fathers are very, very important in a child's life to teach, to protect, just as important as mothers. And I think a lot of times we forget that as a society. So when I saw a particular photograph, I went, oh yeah, and just right away that came to me. So if you guys are interested, go check it out. I'd appreciate it if you at least left a comment or a like or something. Okay. And I have received my order from Lindy Stitches that I'm going to open this because I put something in it to keep it together. This little Mad for Plaid bag. I thought the bag would be bigger. I was hoping it would be big enough to put a pattern in. None of my patterns fit. But it makes a great notions pouch. I should have bought the larger one, but I didn't want another one as big as the two that I have. So, yeah. So I plan to do the midsummer virtual retreat that Lindy Stitches is doing. And if she has these bags there again, I'll buy a larger one. And at the same time, I purchased these swan floss drops. Aren't they cute? Let's see. There they are. There's 10 of them in this. And I did need more floss drops, so that makes me happy. And then I went to the attic on Friday, and I went ahead and got this. I have been eyeing this since market. Now I have no intention of starting this anytime soon, but I'm going to do the smaller versions, not the bigger version, but I probably won't do them as a unit. I don't mind the idea of stand-ups. It's just, I don't know what my situation, see, this is what I mean. It doesn't fit. What the house situation I'm gonna have is, so, I don't wanna be thinking about stand-ups or anything like that. We'll see. I may change my mind by the time we move. Now, I did go when I was at the attic and pick up the threads for Jingleberry. Now that's the fabric I'm waiting on, is the red fabric. And I got the green. It only has 2 colors, the green and the gold, well, and white. But I plan to use, the white is supposed to be Snowflake, Weeks Dye Works Snowflake. But I'm just going to use DMC B5200 because I've looked at all the different whites, and honestly, I like the DMC white better. So, but this gold is for the bells. You know me. I may use this just by itself, or I may use it in conjunction with this. It depends on what they look like on the fabric, once I get the fabric in. That's the fabric from France that I'm waiting for. So, yeah. So, that's what I had in here. I put the threads in there so that I would be able to keep them together. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was my June cross-stitch camp piece, because I was just really liked the fabric that was used. And I did go and look at the fabric, and that is the fabric that the model was stitched on was 32 count. Please forgive me, I probably will pronounce it wrong. Giocoso linen from Grace Notes Fabrics. And I did look at it, but just like most fabrics that have modeling in them, you know, they're not all the same. And I'm sure when they stitched this, they picked the part that they liked. But I did find, and I've been stitching them all on 14 count, and I want them all kind of at the same size, so I wasn't going to get 32 count anyway. But I had this in my stash. I dyed this myself some time ago, and I'm thinking maybe this corner, right here, would be a good substitute. I think this one's a little on the dark side. This is good too, but it goes, I guess I could put it this way and make it go more the right direction. Does it have to be exactly like that? No. But I think this pink will work out really well with the threads. So I'm all set to start my June cross-stitch camp piece. Almost all set for my July cross-stitch camp piece. And I have way too many projects to work on that I want to finish. But I'm not working for the next 2 weeks, so who knows? Of course, I do hope that the house sells in the next 2 weeks, and then I'll probably be very busy. So, all right. Well, thank you for listening. Hopefully the dog noise wasn't too bad, and all the stops and starts with everything going on. I thought I had a calm time to start everything. Yeah, best laid plans, right? Okay, well, I'll see you again in 2 weeks, and by that time I will have started the shepherd. Not 2 weeks, 1 week. That's the next start that I have on WhipGo. I think I have way more than 25 starts for 25, but I just planned on those starts. Those starts are on my whip go that I want to get them started. The others are just because I felt like it, and that's okay. So, and I'm going to have 3 more. Yeah, so I'll see you soon, and thanks for listening.